I never have to use it. Never trust a tourist advertisement. Never trust a tourist advertisement.
Now get out!
At last, Mr. Charles Reed. What a pleasure to finally meet you in the flesh.
Nice to meet you.
Johannes van der Berg, at your service. I did promise to meet you the moment you arrived.
Ah, much obliged, Mr. Vanderberg. I guess I didn't expect you to mean so literally.
Please call me your Highness. But where are my manners? Welcome to the proud city of Oakmont. Alas, now is not its finest hour, though it is its most important.
You said you know someone who can help me with my problem. The visions have been getting worse.
Such vividness of dreams is not uncommon here in Oakmont. By chance, the man I spoke of, Robert Throgmorton, is already at the port. He has dedicated a lot of time and effort to investigate this issue. Alas, I fear he has a more pressing matter on his hands.
How can I find Mr. Throgmorton?
Don't worry, you can't miss him. Throgmorton tends to stand out from the crowd.
Can you tell me a little about Mr. Throgmorton?
A remarkable creature. Scion of a robust bloodline. A philanthropist, a scholar, and the patron of the famous Oakmont University. A man of great ambitions and even greater ego. Do not make him wait.
Reaching Oakmont was no easy task. Most maps I found didn't mark it, and this rickety packet ship is the only one that sailed here. Why is that?
Oakmont is no ordinary place. Its unique geographical position and the flood, a recent natural disaster, make it nigh impossible to reach. But you made it, Mr. Reed. I'm sure the tides of fate would have brought you here one way or another.
Tell me about this flood.
It began 6 months ago. Storms raged for several. Now the city is cut off from the mainland.
I'll need a place to lay my head.
Fear not. I've already fettered a nest for you. There's a room in your name at the Devil's Reef Hotel. Here's the key.
Sounds charming.
Don't judge a book by its cover, Mr. Reed.
What's the best way to get around Oakmont? I'd like to drop my things at the hotel.
Most locals go by foot, or by boat.
You're too kind, Johannes.
Take this map. I've marked the hotel and a few other
places.
You're a private eye, yes? Well, I've highlighted the police. This city is insular.
How do you fill your days, Mr. Van?
I host a philosophy club.
Does Oakmont really have much of a market for philosophy?
There is no consciousness without pain, Mr. Reed.
Well, that's it for now, I think.
No. The pleasure.
Oh, before you go, how can I get in touch with you later?
Don't worry about that. I'm the kind of man. We'll meet again, Mr. Reed.
There's your Oberon, huh, Titania? Something with this helmet gives me chills.
Can't catch a mackerel since those Innsmouthers took over the fishing business. Can't catch a mackerel since those Innsmouthers took over the fishing business.
You like it here, newcomer? Well, get used to it. No one leaves Oakmont nowadays.
I don't care about your petty excuses. No one leaves the port until my...
Excuse me. Are you Robert Throgmorton?
I am, but not interested. Go away.
The name's Charles Reed. I'm a private investigator, just arrived from Boston.
Private investigator, you say?
I've heard you're the man to speak to about visions, outbreaks.
Another newcomer with another problem.
Can I ask you a few...
How dare you? My son Albert is missing, and no one in this Innsmouth-ridden city will do it.
If I may ask, what happened to your son?
Why do you care?
Well, like I said, I'm a piece.
Is it? Well, Albert was part of a deep-sea expedition I commissioned. Says he was barely conscious, out of his mind, talking gibberish in some other language.
And you don't believe him?
Complete malarkey. I know my Albert. I rate Albert's disappearance as the work of Innsmouthers. Mark my...
I take it you're not the biggest fan of these Innsmouthers.
Those fish-faced freaks have overrun this city since the police burned Innsmouth. But now, those filthy migrants occupy half this damned city. The port.
So they're just refugees?
Hardly. They've taken work from the local fishermen. They stir and agitate, not to mention that crime rates have skyrocketed.
Please forgive the question, but I've never met a man quite like you before.
That's because no man measures up to the Throgmorton lineage. Proud and powerful blood flows through my father united with a certain royal family, which has blessed all our offspring with the...
Mr. Throgmorton, let me help you.
What makes you think you can do it? Oakmont is not
Let's just say I tend to see things that others miss. And anyway, what have you got to lose?
Vera. You have a point, newcomer.
I need to know more about what happened to Albert.
Dane, did you not listen at all? I already told you everything. After this fisherman supposedly brought him to the house, and then left to call me.
Anything else?
Clearly, something suspicious occurred inside the house.
Where's the house where this all happened?
For Kay's sake, I thought you were a private eye.
You mentioned a lifeboat.
Yes. Face the house.
Sorry, did you just say Vera?
You had better get used to the Oakmont dialect. Vera means...
As much as I'm enjoying the weather...
Find my son, you...
Don't do anything stupid, newcomer.
I've
Keep
said
your
everything
hands
I
where I
know.
can see them.
Let's see what you find, newcomer.
It would take tremendous effort to move this thing, let alone tossing it over like this. Hello?
Oh, my head.
It's okay. I'm Charles Reed, private.
Oh.
I want to know what happened here. Every detail.
Then he came back carrying Throgmorton's son.
Then what?
We put the guy in Lewis's room. Then he started to and he woke up. And after that, I don't remember a thing, just...
Tell me about yourself.
Name's Will Hammond. I'm a fisherman. We all are. Live here together. We moved here after the flood. I worked on the railroad, but the rail ain't kicking anymore, so...
Where are all the other guys?
That's Paul there on the floor. Kay be with him, and I have no idea what Lewis or Throg...
Do you know how Paul died?
I don't know. When I pulled myself together, he was already...
Who is this Kay you keep mentioning?
Outsiders, show some respect. Kay is our lord, our light, our love.
I'll leave you to it.
Please, Detective, sir?
I don't know yet, Will. The police will stop anyone. Choo-choo. Ahem. Choo-choo. Ahem. Choo-choo. Ahem. I can barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp. I can barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp. I'm surprised they don't have someone's portrait here.
Glenna, Nehri, Glenna, Gebhal, Nugulina, Haftin.
Never seen knives like this. Seems like Prohibition hasn't affected Oakmont too much. So, that's what an Innsmouther looks like.
Take this, ape face.
What's happening?
Yeah, run!
Okay, let's see what we have here.
Yeah, run! Yeah, run! Take this, ape face.
What's happening? What?
Take this, ape face. Yeah, run!
When Albert Throgmorton woke up, he was not himself. He attacked the fishermen, and his hysteria spread to them. When he got wounded, he fled. Huh. This dog mat looks better than the owner's bed. The book is damp and damaged, but clearly well cared for. There was a fierce fight here, but someone tried to flee. So the fisherman pursued Albert, even let up. Even though Albert was wounded, he managed to climb that high. Robert wasn't exaggerating when he said he raised him strong. There's something in the pot. The blood is fresh. Whomever it belongs to could not have got far. The door won't budge. The door won't budge. One fatal round through the forehead. That's no accident. This was deliberate. One fatal round through the forehead. That's no accident. This was deliberate.
You look familiar, but old Billy hasn't seen you around.
Ugh, I'll miss the carpenter's food giveaway with this darn port closure.
Stay alert! Monsters lurk underground. They're everywhere.
Come closer.
You're some kind of...
Yes, my dear. Yes.
Seems a little... generic.
I see many things, boy.
Alright, how much? $1?
Your money has no value here, newcomer. And I'll make it easier for you.
Let's hear what my future holds.
Good. The sea will be generous in the coming days. Many gifts delivered, and many will regret partaking.
I don't think I follow.
I see old and new. A hard heart against an iron will. Whoever wins, and tall pillars, circled by the dead.
I think I'd like my bullet back.
It...
Why do
Welcome to Under the Kid.
I'm looking for a man by the name of...
Yeah, even if I knew.
As it happens, I know you owe a debt to Mr. Flynn, so it seems Lewis is in trouble. Might have even come here to hide. But you hand him over...
Rock. That would explain the blood. Fine.
So?
He's upstairs. Here's the key. You gotta...
Smart man. I've seen some unsettling creatures around.
So you met a wild beast, newcomer. They arrived in the flood. Some say they come from...
And what do you say?
If it bleeds, you can kill it. Keep your gun handy. And if you want to erase the memory, I sell a perfect cure right here. Remember, better to be a coward and live than brave.
Bye.
What the... Get the... Oh...
Hey, who are you? What are you doing?
Charles Reed, private investigator. Mr. Throgmorton hired me to find his son Albert, so I think you know...
Throg. That darn bartender. It was all that crazy ape's fault. You hear me?
Calm down. I only want to speak, for now. But no, if you reach for your...
I got nothing to hide.
Start at the beginning. What happened?
We were in our house, me, Paul, and Will. Barry'd gone to the sea. Though I told him that it would only bring bad luck. If he'd listened to me, we'd all still be alive.
Come on, Lewis. Focus.
Right. Well, Barry dragged that damn ape to our house. He was bragging about how much Mr. Throgmorton would give us for saving his son. But that ape, he was out cold. Then woke in an instant and started screaming, attacking us.
You shot to kill. No warning, no second chances. You pursued Albert even after he fled. Why?
I can't remember it. When he woke, it was like a bloody mist descended over me. First thing I recall after is that darn warehouse and me covered in blood. I had no...
I hear there's a bit of a feud between the Innsmouthers and the Throgmortons. Care to fill me in?
Those apes hated us from the moment we arrived in Oakmont. Our home was destroyed. We just needed a place to stay. The Blackwood Grand family sheltered us, but others were not as hospitable. We needed jobs, food, and medicine.
And so?
We had to fight for every crumb of bread. And those always conspiring behind our backs. Always setting people against us.
You mentioned a grand family. What do you mean?
So you're a newcomer?
Yeah, a newcomer with a gun. Answer the question.
Okay. People here are crazy about bloodlines and tradition and reputation. The head honchos, there's the Carpenters, who control most of the city's underworld. The Blackwoods, who share kin with Innsmouthers through the Marsh family. Right, those filthy apes. Now that most of the Blackwoods are gone...
The things you did to Albert don't look like a bloody rage. A fatal shot to the head, a hidden body. One might start to wonder if it was deliberate.
Well, I don't know what to say.
What kind of... why do you... your face, it's,
Oh, so you're here to attack me just because I look different to you?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't know how to ask. I've just never...
Innsmouthers' bodies were blessed by the sea. You're gonna see a lot of us here.
I think I've got all I need.
Please, Mr. Reed, don't tell Throgmorton about me. Have mercy, please.
This is not exactly cut and dry. I need some time to think.
Perhaps I can offer something to grease.
It turns out I arrived here unprepared for business.
I knew you'd understand. Here you are. Please, I told you the truth, I swear.
The port is closed by order of Robert Throgmorton. Back off.
Mr. Throgmorton, I've encountered something.
What? I don't have all day.
Some unusual...
You've seen a wild beast, Mr. Reed. I'm somewhat surprised to see you still alive. I've commissioned a few studies on them, but we know little more than when we started. They're aggressive, but fortunately, not immediate.
Yeah.
Try to avoid them when possible.
Mr. Throgmorton,
No.
Yeah. I found your son in the basement of a nearby warehouse. I'm sorry, but...
No. It cannot.
I've tracked down your son's murderer.
Where?
I tracked the murderer down, but he was attacked by those things prowling the back alleys. It was that Innsmouther fisherman, Lewis. He was covered in your son's blood. That may have attracted the beasts.
Are you certain the body is his?
Beyond any doubt. All that's left of him is a heap of flesh and this scrap of cloth.
Alas, this was my revenge to exact, not some wild. Still, justice has been served.
Mr. Throgmorton, I hate to press you, but do you think you could help me now?
Yes, you've earned it. Kay, to think anew, but I digress. Remind me.
I think I'm going mad, Mr. Throgmorton. I was drawn here, or guided, or I don't know.
You're not wrong, Mr. Reed. And inexplicably, I funded an expedition to explore recent geological activity that may...
A geological expedition?
I have reason to believe the flood and this madness.
You mentioned the flood. You think it's more than just a natural disaster.
You weren't here, Mr. Reed. What happened?
Do these cases of hysteria involve shared visions as well?
Since the flood, many Oakmonters have had similar nightmares. Indeed, Professor Doe, the expedition...
Waterlogged ruins with unnatural architecture.
Oh, word.
Has your expedition found?
I do not know. Albert was part of it. His passing...
You think your son was killed because the expedition uncovered something?
Is it so hard to believe? I had no news for a week, then Albert...
It does sound...
Mr. Reed, I want you to find...
If I'm going to look into this, I'll need to know more.
I'll give you the address of the expedition's headquarters.
That's all you can tell me?
Let me be clear, Reed. You do not speak to me like that again.
I'm sorry, Mr. Throgmorton. I just meant...
I am a busy man. I funded the research, but when you've finished, come see me at the Throgmorton family manor. It's in Old Grove. Here.
What about my expenses?
They will be reimbursed after you complete your task. And of course, you've earned some compensation for your work here at the... I'll also include a fair advance. The dollar lost its use here, Mr. Reed. After the flood, Oakmont returned to bartering.
Crew of the Cyclops. Semper Fortis, brothers. Never again, they say. No matter how much of this I chug... Makes this place feel more like home. I miss Boston already. The door won't budge.
Finally, you're awake. Gotta tell you, though, mister, you want to stay on here, you stop making all that noise.
Noise? What noise are you talking about?
I expect my guests to be respectable. Moans, chanting, all that kind of thing. It stops, all right?
Got any proof it was me? It could have been one of my neighbors. I slept like a rock. I didn't hear a thing.
That's exactly what a newcomer would say. Your neighbors are respectable people and would never do such a thing. don't think your yellow-clad patron means you get away with everything.
You're not exactly friendly with your guests. Are we the ones keeping you in business?
All these newcomers after the flood, they're stark raving mad.
What do you mean?
You can't imagine the crazy notes and books I find after they move out. Only thing they're good for is lighting the kitchen stove.
Can I have a look?
I knew it. I tell you, no one sane would be interested. And you want to take a look? Well, fine. Take what you wish.
The old papers are by the door. Take them and stop bothering me already.
I think you've got me.
Aren't you a newcomer?
Yeah, I guess I am a newcomer.
Ah, so you're the one who... Give me an exclusive interview.
Alright, Do you still want that interview?
Oh, absolutely. We know that you're the private eye who solved the case, but tell our reader something more about yourself.
I'm a private eye in Boston. The situation in the port was a good use of my skills.
Well, Detective Reed, I think you'll find our city has a lot of secrets, but people may not like you poking your nose in. Maybe we'll have the chance to work together later. Who knows? And now the big question. Why are you here? What brought you to Oakmont? Yes,
Yeah, and then hired me to find it.
I think that's enough for now. I can't give...
My pleasure. Maybe I'll do...
Please, help. Me out. I'll take it.
Guess I don't need the key. Are a few damp papers all that's left of the expedition? Are a few damp papers all that's left of the expedition? Guess this helmet's beyond repair.
Grab the papers, smash the rest.
We don't have time to pick it. Stand back. I fatah me fe I regach I dagon.
Burn it all. Make sure you get the adverts.
Time to figure this out.
We don't have time to pick it. Stand back.
Grab the papers, smash the rest.
I fatah me fe I.
Burn it all. Make sure you get the adverts.
Several men broke into the expedition headquarters. What they didn't smash, they burned. The archives, even the newspapers. Can't say I ever saw another shell like it. won't budge. Door won't budge.
You're the man who handled the problems in the port.
You pay, I work. What's the job?
Ah, a fellow businessman. I'm Vincent, but you can call me Vince. First task...
Charles Reed.
Sure.
What can you tell me about the Pride?
Mostly rumors. The captain was an exemplary patriot. Always had a flag with him.
It could be resting on the seabed 1,000 miles away.
I wouldn't waste my money on you unless I had hope. Local drunkards say they saw the barge on the sunken road near the fish market.
Good. I'll check the place. Why are you looking for a ship log?
Maybe I'll tell you when the job is...
In my line of work, you don't get far without appreciating. See you later.
The end is nigh.
Get off my ship, you newcomer rat!
I wonder what happened to the chemicals.
Get off my ship, you newcomer rat!
Good news. I got the
Let me see.
I expect the pay to be...
Sure, take this.
Find more ships.
These next ones won't be so easy. I've bought 2 more ships, Red Queen and Skylark. Both are...
The Red Queen.
So you won't say that when you see it. We crashed near the asylum and...
Well?
I only have a guess.
You think the smuggler...
I saw a box with the ship's name. Some hobo was burning it for warmth. For a bullet.
I'll get started, Vin.
I'll be waiting here.